Alrighty, g'day guys. Welcome back to Stat Chat Sports. You're here with Steve and Tazza. He's back this week after enjoying a week off on holidays. Not in the twos. He's on holidays. Tazza, you left me out to dry a little bit last week, I must admit, but it's all good. We got it done. But it's good to have you back, mate.
Yeah, look, I'm well rested. Happy to be back. Look, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. Well, not for the foreseeable future, anyway. Yeah, look, good to be back and good to be talking Premier League again.
Nah, it's all good, mate. I'll forgive you. Look, we work hard over here at Stat Chat Sports to bring the best content. So everyone's entitled to a break here and there. But look, let's get into it. Even though you're away, I'm sure you caught the action, and no doubt you caught the hit for this week, which is Liverpool. There's probably no doubt. I think that this was going to go this direction. I think this week, not the result. I'm talking about the hit. Because I'm sure you would have seen. I had little to no hope for Liverpool last week. In the game of the week, I didn't expect Liverpool to get a result here. You can look at the 1-0 and they scrape through, but really they did put in quite a good performance. You have to beat City, but given the form that Liverpool were on, they did well to keep the champions at bay.
Yeah, when I saw the lineup released, I was pretty worried, to be honest. When I saw Milner sitting there at right back, I just thought,
Yeah.
they're in for a day. And I mean, Milner's been a great servant for the club, for both of those clubs, really. But look,
Milner's been torn to shreds by Foden before.
yes, exactly. It's not like he doesn't have form in being quite awful against City. So, look, he put in a shift, and so did really the whole of the squad. And I was very. I didn't watch the game live. It was a pretty awful time for us. So, yeah, look, when I woke up to see the score, I was pretty happy. It was it's such a surprise too. I mean, City have been rolling. We've talked about Haaland, but Haaland met Virgil van Dijk, and the Colossus has come out on top. Haaland doesn't have a very good record against Liverpool. Of 4 games, hasn't won yet. 2 with Salzburg, 2 with City. Scored once. It's not a happy hunting ground just yet for him. I mean, everywhere else is in the world, but Liverpool just seem to be maybe his bogey team. Look, we don't know. It's a small sample size, but yeah, a full credit to Liverpool. They dug in and took their chance when they when it come about with a beautiful ball with Alisson, who is actually the first goalkeeper to assist the same player 3 times in the history of the Premier League. So it's just a very obscure stat, but such is the passing range of Alisson is unreal. We haven't seen anything like that for a little while, so it's good to watch.
Yeah, he's just as good with his feet as he is with his hands, really, Alisson. Let's talk about Liverpool's performance overall. They almost looked like they were going into this game with like a bit of an underdog mentality, and it almost seemed as if it was like, okay, we can't match City like for like, maybe perhaps how they have in the past few seasons, and that's got to be purely down to form, maybe confidence in the side. Because, for the first time, Liverpool out of possession, you saw them really sit in and dig in deep and defend with a couple of banks of 4. We've seen Van Dijk. I mean, you mentioned Van Dijk. We saw him defend away at that. I think we've never seen him defend before. Whenever name me a time you've seen Van Dijk on the floor before. It's just it doesn't happen. He's sliding. He's sliding. He was sliding on the ground, blocking crosses, and he had a point to prove. He was out there making a point to prove. He's like, all right, well, come out under a bit of scrutiny recently, probably rightly so, and not just him, everyone came out with a point to prove. But I mean, you got to put in a performance like that to beat a City side, and a little bit of luck to go your way as well. Salah had almost two identical chances, and he missed the first, but had the composure to put the second one away. But you need a little bit of luck in these games. Obviously, City's goal that was scored first, Foden ruled out. Just correct decision, do you think? As I know, this is
Yeah,
a topic of much debate.
I mean, I think the moment the shirt pulling,
Yeah.
I think that was a very clear signal for me. I
Mm.
mean, how tough or how hard the shirt pull was. I mean, it's pretty hard to know through the camera angles that we've seen. But I think once that's the biggest giveaway to the referee or VAR is the shirt pull. So yeah, I think they've made the right decision. And of course, I mean, it's easy for me to say that, but the shirt pull is the giveaway.
Yeah, I agree. I think the argument that the City fans and Pep made the argument as well was they were talking about consistency in the game. Apparently, before the game, referee Anthony Taylor came and spoke to the two coaches and the captains, as they tend to do, and he said, "Look, I'm just gonna let the game sort of go a little bit, gonna let it flow." There was plenty of fouls, that might have been given. That's just decided to let him go. In real time, he's let that go, and then he's gone back on his own word, so to say, to give the free kick. Now, I think we want to see a free flowing game. There's too many times where players go down softly and they get given, and it's just disruption of the play. That's the sort of thing that we don't want to see, obviously. But when there's a clear and obvious free kick in the build up to a goal of all things, I think that's obviously where a foul needs to be given, and if it's not given, that's where VAR needs to step in and overrule it, because I think there was also an argument saying that like it was this sort of a different phase of play. It's like, well, that foul directly led to the goal. It's as simple as that. Whether you class a second phase of play being after the Alisson save and the ball spilling out, that still directly led to that opportunity. So, I mean, like you said, it's easy for us to stand here now, being Liverpool fans, and saying, "Yeah, I think it's the right call." If it happened, if it was the other way around, we might be saying something else. But everyone's going to be biased towards their club to a degree. But I think there's a fair amount of people out there that would agree that was probably given as a foul correctly.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there with VAR. I mean, VAR allows the game to be free flowing to an extent. We can let it go because we have the ability to go back on and look at the decisions and review decisions that we may or may not have missed and got wrong. And that's exactly what has been done there, and it's worked really. I mean, to me, it was a foul, and they've been able to pick it up. They've let the play result, but you want to make sure that result's right, and they have. So, I mean, it's a win for VAR, definitely.
So, obviously, I mean, we've said it before after the Bournemouth 9-0 win, but this is really where Liverpool probably need to kickstart their season from here, beating the champions and it's not a derby by any means, but it's the modern day classic, I suppose, in the Premier League in terms of fixtures. So, handing them the first loss of the season and their first loss since I think it was like May or March, beginning of the year.
I think it's 14 games or something.
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah,
there's a good amount of games, so that should hopefully give them confidence to build on from that in the weeks to come. The miss is we've spoken about them a couple of times. They've more so been hold fires, I believe, but I think there's no more denying that Aston Villa deserved to be a spot in the miss this week. Another loss for Steven Gerrard. He's not looking too comfortable in a job at the moment.
Yeah, looking at their form line, I mean, it's gone draw, win, draw, loss. I mean, I think what's really gone wrong for them is they're just getting no wins here. I mean, they're sitting 2, 3, and 5, and that's their first loss in 5. But it's really not coming together for a squad that was meant to really come on in leaps and bounds this year. I mean, with Gerrard having the full preseason, it's not working out for them. And I mean, the Coutinho that they bought or that they got last season is a shell of himself at the moment.
Yeah.
It's pretty disappointing because I mean we all thought he'd be back to his best and a full strength, a full throttle Coutinho is just is for every football fan is a good thing. Doesn't matter who your allegiances are towards. Everyone wants to see it, but yeah, it's definitely not working out for them at the moment.
Now, to be fair to them, they actually created a good amount of chances. And Kepa
They did.
in the Chelsea goal just had probably the best game of his career in a Chelsea shirt. A couple of double and triple saves, but I think the issue for Villa is maybe not so much up top. If they're creating 18 shooting 18 chances and 7 on target, but still they had more chances than Chelsea did. The issue doesn't seem to necessarily lie here. And another day, they might win this game or at least get a goal, to show something for the efforts. If it wasn't for the brilliance of Kepa, their issue seems to be lying in the back line at the moment. And I mean, we'll talk about one in particular a little bit later, but yeah, I think Diego Carlos is still out. He was obviously a pretty big acquisition for Villa this season. At the start of the season, I don't know if Luca Dean is in and around still.
He wasn't in the squad.
He wasn't in the squad, so perhaps there's an injury there. They've got to sort something out at the back there because it's just leaking too many goals. And I think that's where these draws and losses are coming from, not so much on the other end.
Yeah, I mean, generally, if you're going to be languishing down towards the end of the table, forget about the rest of the stuff. Just go back to basics, tighten up at the back, and that's the difference between losing games and scraping a point or maybe 3 here and there. And that's what I know. Gerrard, that to me isn't the way that he's going to want to play. And it could be what really undoes Villa here, which is unfortunate. But I mean, we saw Gerrard at Rangers, but he was a well-oiled machine. Rangers in the Scottish Premiership is a bit different to Villa in the Premier League. Obviously, you're battling heavyweights as opposed to being a heavyweight. So it's different, but yeah, they've really got to tighten up. I think it's 7 goals for, 13 against, which isn't awful, but when you're not scoring them, you've really got to tighten up at the back.
So I mean, we've said before that we think Brendan Rodgers is going to be the next manager to go. Steven Gerrard's head is just as much on the chopping block at the moment, and I'm seeing a little bit of a theme here, maybe potentially with Gerrard. I feel like we could. You mentioned before how Gerrard probably wouldn't want to change the way that he plays too much. I think we might see a similar situation to Marco Bielsa of Leeds last season, where the arrogant, maybe not arrogance, not the right word, but the
stubbornness,
the stubbornness, yeah, the stubbornness to change the way that they play to pick up the results they need might end up in him losing his job.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because I think he was touted for big things, and like I mentioned before, like he created a different way at Rangers and try to take that to the Premier League. But if he can't be more fluent with his tactics or find another way for this team to play, it just hasn't converted to the Premier League. So he's got to change it up.
All right, Tazza, our new segment, we've replaced the hold fire. No more hold fire. We like to highlight 2 teams in these videos as a hit and a miss. And now we're highlighting 2 individual performances with the Star of the Week and the Dunce of the Week. Tazza, you like to pick these out. Who have you got for us?
All right. So our Star of the Week this week. Look, we've had 2 guys. It was really hard to break this down personally. We've had 2 guys scoring doubles. I mean, we can go for defenders if we want to. I know we like to target the strikers because they seem to be, well, not the strikers, the goal scorers, because they are getting their team the 3 points. We've got 2 today. I'm going to honourable mention. I'm going to give to Mason Mount. Very good. Peach of a free kick. And did well to corral the the first goal that he scored off a Tyrone Mings pretty awful error. We will get to, but my star for the week this week is Ivan Toney. He is just taking Brentford by the neck and just dragging them along, just really willing them up that up the Premier League table. I mean, they're not hitting crazy heights, but without him, they could be in some real trouble. I think it's 8 goals and 2 assists for the year. I mean, we're only, I think, 9 games, 10 games through the year. I think they would have played 10 by now. So, I mean, those are
10 games, yeah.
For a team that's not exactly banging them in. There's some exceptional numbers.
Yeah, it's almost a goal a game, and I'm sure 2 assists actually. So that's a goal contribution a game. So yeah, that's exactly what you want from him, and he's been excellent, to be fair. You know, the first goal was a lovely little flick. Flick of the back heel there at the front post, and the second being a penalty, but which is not always exciting. But I mean, I do believe this guy's yet to miss a penalty. I think he's got a 100% record in the Premier League for penalties. A little bit of an unorthodox technique, it must be said. Not many people would have the balls to just walk up to the penalty spot, pick a spot, and I mean, I can't remember the last time that he's a goalkeeper's even gone the right way for one of his penalties. He just is such as the mind tricks and the mind games with that particular technique. But yeah, he's been excellent for Brentford so far, and with the 2 goals to help them beat Brighton, who have been in really good form themselves. That's no easy, no easy task to break down and defeat a Brighton side who's been really good. So yeah, no, credit to Toney for sure.
Yeah, 2 teams that are sitting in the top of the table, just having a look now. Brighton sitting 7th and Brentford 9th. So 2 teams that, are probably overperforming given pre-season expectations. So, but I mean, I don't think, I can't remember where we had them, Brentford, in our pre-season prediction. But I mean, I definitely didn't have them as a top half side. So,
I feel like we would have had him around that 16th to 13th bracket, somewhere around there. That's sort of.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds pretty right. And I mean, they're outperforming it, and that's enlarged to what Ivan Toney's doing. So, I mean, there's calls for him to. I mean, these bigger clubs, why are they not interested? Like, surely he secures a move. Either, I mean, he wouldn't secure it in the winter window, but maybe in the once the season's done, maybe he goes on to bigger and better things. But he'll need to carry that on for that to happen. But I mean, he's started bloody well.
Yeah, I like the Mason Mount call as well. You know, that free kick was an absolute peach, and he's looked a different player under Graham Potter so far. I haven't got the stats in front of me, but I mean, he's scored goals in their Champions Leagues, in fixtures as well. He would be the top goal scorer surely under Graham Potter so far for Chelsea.
I think they were his first 2 goals of the season. I don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
in the league, though.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, in the league, definitely. I think he's got 2 goals and 2 assists, possibly, in the league for the season so far. But I mean, what a way to do it. Yeah, 2 well taken goals. The first was opportunistic, and I mean, you had to be there. You had to be there at the full. You had to be pressing. You had the effort required was all there, and he was able to finish and bury it quite nicely. But I mean, yeah, we don't need to say much about the free kick. It was sublime. It was beautiful.
All right, the dunce. I think we know where it's going, but I think it's fairly obvious at this point.
Yeah, look, I kind of led to it. I mentioned it. I didn't want to give it away. I may have given it away. Look, we're going to Tyrone Mings. It's like I didn't know where to go, and then I was just thinking, I had to look at few of the highlights, few of the goals, and boy, oh boy, was that disgusting. Tyrone Mings, that clearance for Mason Mount's first goal. I mean, all you've got to do is just get it out of the area, get it out of the box. Just don't worry. He's sent it the wrong way. All you got to do is get some sort of some sort of contact.
As a big central defender, that's your job.
Yeah,
is to deal with those
exactly.
kind of areas, and he's got it so far wrong.
And it's not like it was opposed either.
No,
It wasn't an aerial duel.
no,
It was an unopposed clearing header that he's managed to knock the opposite way. Like, yeah, uh, I don't know how much more we can break it down. Just
yeah,
absolute dunce move, dunce play. I mean, I'm pretty sure who scored gave him a 5.2 rating.
that's bad.
Who scored isn't exactly the gospel, but that tells you all you need to know.
Mm.
He was. You can look at that one play. You can look at his rating. You can just. I mean, yeah, 2-0 loss. Dunce of the week. Tyrone Mings. Please, just that's awful. Do not do that again. Oh yeah, you'll be right back here, mate.
It's uncontested. It's absolutely uncontested. When you come down to see it, if you haven't seen it, make sure you see it because it's an absolute howler and it's shocking. And I mean, Tazza, I've highlighted my thoughts of Tyrone Mings on this channel before.
Yeah.
I think he's terrible. How
I thought you might like
how
this.
he even gets a sniff in the England squad, I have got no freaking clue. I think he's
Well,
terrible.
I mean, that's got to be the end of all the sniffs, surely. He
Sure.
surely doesn't get another look in because
He's got to
that
be.
is awful.
Yeah, and I mean a back four. Well, I mean the saying is that you defend as a team and you defend as 11 players, but um, the fact that he has played, he didn't play early games in the season when Diego Carlos was available, but since he's gone out and subsequently Mings has come in, he's just been terrible. Um, and it's not just this season. I've never rated him. Last season, I feel like he was the same player. Just calamities at the back, silly mistakes. He's just a big lanky. What does BT say? He's a spud.
Yeah, he's a spud.
He's
Big
a
lanky
spud.
spud.
He's a big lanky spud. Absolutely deserves to be the dunce of the week, Taz. I love the call because I think he's terrible.
Yeah, it's look, improve, mate, or we'll see you again.
I'm sure this might. If he continues to play, this won't be the last time he's here.
Definitely.
All right. Well, that'll wrap us up for this video. Tazza, we got some midweek games coming up this week, of course. So we'll be back on your screens really early this week to cover those before we look forward to the weekend's fixtures as well. So thanks for joining us, Tazza. It's good to have you back, mate. And yeah, thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you in the next one. See you.